Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. Just a quick programming note. In the next couple of weeks and months, we're really going to put a focus on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We got several thousand subscribers. We have over 1 million views. We're uploading new videos each and every week. So we're really going to point you guys, everyone who follows the Inland Sports Show, to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We will still post on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to post a lot of pictures, maybe some shorter videos, but we really want to put an emphasis on the YouTube channel. So here's what we need from you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the Inland Sports YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up when you watch our videos. We'd really appreciate it. If you've subscribed, maybe tell your teammates, other kids at school, other coaches on your coaching staff, your parents, your grandparents. We'd really appreciate the more subscribers, the better. So subscribe and give us a like. And if you want to take it even further, there's now a thanks button at the bottom as well if you'd like to take your support to the next level and make a small donation so we can continue to bring you great sports coverage here in the Inland Empire. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. First off, we want to give a big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez at Teen Vision TV 16. Feeling a little bit under the weather today. So first off, Johnny boy, hope you feel better real fast, brother. Get well soon. We miss being in the studio. So we're going to do the show from home tonight, and we got a great show. We're going to talk about Temecula Valley girls soccer, the reigning Division I champions. We got Coley Candaele, the new head football coach, or the old football coach, depending on how you look at it, at Vista Murrieta. But Coley is back, and a very special interview with the Corona High School boys basketball team. So very excited about tonight's show, and we're going to start off with some girls soccer here on the Inland Sports Show. And this is our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. Oh, it's a big one. It's a rematch of last year's CIF Southern Section Division I Finals. Temecula Valley and Santiago going head-to-head in non-league action on Thursday. In the championship game last year, it was Temecula Valley winning by a final of 2-0 in an all-Inland Empire championship match. We absolutely loved it. A lot of respect for Coach Guinn and, of course, Coach Fleming with the Sharks, and a great rematch coming up. So we have the Golden Bears on the show right now. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It's the Temecula Valley Golden Bears girls soccer team, your defending CIF Southern Section Division I champions. Jennifer Guinn, the head coach, joined by a couple players as well. And Coach, thank you for always making time for me on the Inland Sports Show. I really appreciate it because we are now in the teeth of the season. You got a big one coming up tomorrow. We're going to talk about on Thursday against Santiago. You picked up a big win against Roosevelt yesterday. What have you liked so far early on this season about this Golden Bears squad?
Well, it's funny how every team is just different, and they really chase after the legacy of our program and what we create from year to year. So I think the energy and the momentum we started with, everything's so fast coming off club and into high school. But the second they were done with their club games, they were all in. And you can really tell. I think the girls would attest to that. They're ready to go after it and, just are stepping out hard across the board. And everything, whether it's a meeting because we're resting our bodies or we're on the field or, prepping through text even, to get ready for the next match.
So, Coach, you pick up a big 6-2 win against Roosevelt on Tuesday. I mean, 6 goals against anybody is a really great offensive showing. What did you guys do well in that match that you hope maybe carries over against the Sharks on Thursday?
Well, I think I was really proud of the girls adjusting to their system and what we needed to do, and calming down and playing our game, which just created great opportunities at net that we capitalized on. So I was proud of them. I think we had to make some changes within the first half. They came out pretty strong and definitely were giving us a great game. And, again, I think the girls and I have a good relationship where, I can call them over mid-game and tell them what needs to be done. And 9 times out of 10, they will adjust to that. And we definitely needed to add more support to our middies. And we made that change, I think. And then it just kind of created to give them a little more freedom offensively on the ball.
Well, hopefully we didn't give away all your secrets going into this big championship rematch against Santiago coming up on Thursday. Coach, do you get it? I know it's early on in the season. It's a non-league game, but does it kind of get you excited? Does it get the juices flowing? Going up against Santiago and seeing some good competition to get your girls ready for hopefully another deep playoff run down the road?
Well, it's always fun playing Santiago. I think it's a really good, friendly rivalry between the two of us. I think Mike would tell you too. I enjoy him, and it was a great, really exciting for us to have 2 Inland Empire teams in the Division I finals. That made history right there. And they always bring us a good game. And when you play good teams, they make you better. And that's our goal, is to get better every time we're together. So I think we're looking forward to the challenge tomorrow. And, we just want to do our best and see kind of where the outcome lies and then learn from it, because that's what preseason's for, right? So we expect them to bring a big game. And we've coached against each other for many years. So I think we know, it's definitely going to be a tough match.
Well, Coach, let's introduce your players as well it's on the screen left, but to Coach's right, we got Ani Jost, and to the screen right, we've got Juliet Thrapp. And Coach, first, kind of introduce your players. What makes them special? What makes them important to this year's team?
Okay, so Ani Jost, I'll talk about Ani. She was a midfielder for us last year. Ani had a role where she stepped in often, to relieve some players, but in reality, she was such a key component to the game, stepping in. And we were just so excited that she was a sophomore, knowing we had 2 more years with her at that time. Her leadership on the ball and off the ball is just amazing to witness and watch. She's definitely a leader in the making in the sense here at TV. She's super technical on the ball, and really just a lot of fun to watch. She recently committed, and so I'll let you ask her about that, because that's really exciting. And but we're really, Ani's been with us since she was a freshman, and she has, she came in as the only freshman onto our squad that year, and she just rose to the occasion, and the team just embraced her and loved her. And she was a big goal scorer, and she's our leading goal scorer right now, doing really well, and just also setting a lot up. So I knew this was going to be a special year for Ani, and we're excited to let her finish her 2 years out here as a Bear. So Ani. Yeah,
let me ask Ani. Ani, first off, before we get to the actual season, where'd you commit to? I know you're only a junior, right? So you can verbally commit somewhere.
Yeah, so I just verbally committed to the Air Force Academy. It's been a school I've always wanted to go to. My dad went there, and I'm really excited to go there.
So it's kind of a family tradition. So I'm sure your dad was very excited, your family very excited for you to commit to Air Force?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I remember the night. I was very emotional. I think in the rain after I committed verbally, it was a very emotional night, but also very exciting. So
I've actually been to Air Force once, and it was so cold and it was snowing. So hopefully, your soccer season will stay mild, because it's a fall sport, right? At the college level, the Division I level. So hopefully, it won't be too bad.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, Ani, talk about your increased role this season. Like Coach said, you did get plenty of playing time last year, but do you feel like going into this season, there's an increased role in terms of leadership, in terms of offensive production? Do you feel like it's more, maybe it's more of your team per se, that you have more of a leading role this season?
So I would say I have a leading role this season, because I also have big shoes to fill from last year with Kate and Natalie Mitchell. But I'm also really excited because I get the chance to step into that role, and then I also have amazing teammates behind me and supporting me. So I'm really excited to step into this role.
All right, Coach, and how about to your left, Juliet? What makes her a special player, and what kind of role she's going to have for this year's team?
So Juliet is a center back for us, and she was the only freshman that started and played every game last year in the back line. Juliet is so strong on the ball, so vocal. She's going to step into this year knowing that pressure and what is expected of it. And my hope for her is that she really runs with that leadership, even as a sophomore, and just creates that environment to, push her teammates around her to really drive towards that winning mindset. Sorry about that.
Well, Juliet, let me ask you, stepping in as a center back as a freshman, there is so much pressure back there. And to be a freshman, what was it like last season being a freshman playing in such an important position on the field for the best Division I team out there?
I think, beginning of the season, I was pretty nervous and, it was hard to come into, such a good team, But as I got, through the season, it became easier to, help out and talk through the team, and everybody else made me feel super welcome. So yeah.
Now, a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I played varsity as a freshman, and I remember being kind of timid, just raising my voice because I'm playing with seniors, right? I shouldn't be telling them where to go when they're in the wrong spot and stuff. But how did you adapt to just being one of the leaders and being a center back on a team that had seniors and had great players, but still trying to find, stay in your lane and find your role?
Well, I feel like last year's team especially, we were all so close and we were like a family. So it was easier to talk to everybody. And, yeah, they all just, took my advice really well. And I would take their advice, too. So it was just, a mutual thing. So.
That's awesome. That's the right answer right there. Good job, Juliet. And finally, Coach, listen, I know you guys are busy tonight, so I appreciate you doing this interview. But I did have to ask you, being the Division I champions, the reigning D1 champs, do you feel like every time you guys take the pitch, people are like, oh my gosh, there's Temecula Valley. Here they come. We're going to have to, give them our A game. We got to step up for the Golden Bears. Do you sense that? Do you feel that for basically all the matches that you step onto the pitch for?
I think we all feel that. And I remember in 2018, it was very difficult to come back. We also moved up a division. So we went from Division II to Division I. So we were not only target on our back, we were trying to prove that we could stay in Division I and that we could compete with those teams. And so experiencing, what happened in 2022 and winning the title, I think I know what's ahead of us. And my focus, and my captains, we've had a lot of discussions on the fact that we really want this team to be their own team. And new year, new goals. What are those? We have a huge group of girls returning that felt it. They got to experience it. And, it's really hard to not get ahead of yourself and want to get out after it, but to just slow down because we do know, and we've already felt it, teams coming up against us. And we're learning, I think, how to adjust to that as a team. How are we going to approach every single match? So, yeah, agreed. Yeah. So, just kind of one game at a time. And this is a new group, and we have some big goals, and they're new goals. And we're excited to make, all our former alumni proud and build off what they've created. So.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congrats on the great start, a big one against Santiago coming up on Thursday, a rematch of last year's final. So, Ani, Juliet, of course, Coach in the middle, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Pep.
All right, you got it. That's Temecula Valley girls soccer here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, that was Temecula Valley girls soccer here on the Inland Sports Show. That'll take us into our first commercial break of the evening. When we come back, we still have our interview with Corona High School boys basketball and our exclusive interview with the new head coach, the former great Vista Murrieta coach, Coley Candaele, back with the Broncos. That's coming up next here on the Inland Sports Show. We are back right here at the Boost Performance Center with Coach Ray Bass, a.k.a. the Boost Man, with another gridiron question. Good one this week, Coach. As we want to know, is there a secret to training athletes that other athletic trainers, they wouldn't say anything. They want to keep their lips sealed?
Absolutely. There's no methodology, no advanced drill, no trainer who can take you to the next level if you're not willing to put in the work. You can't wait for someone else to make it happen for you, because in reality, it's all on you. You know, there's athletes that'll say, I need to train with this piece of equipment, or I need to train with these types of people. But again, in reality, it's all on you as the athlete. Now, don't get me wrong, Pep. Being a knowledgeable and skilled trainer is important, but it's less about what I do for my athletes and more about what they need to do for themselves.
All right, Coach, secrets revealed right here at Boost Performance Training. That is the Boost Man himself, Ray Bass, and you can send us a question for a future gridiron question right here at Boost by hitting the DMs all over Boost Training on social media. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Now join us here on the show. He is the new head coach of the Vista Murrieta Broncos, but he's kind of the old coach all in the same. Coley Candaele back, taking over the Broncos program. Of course, he was the head coach from 2003 to 2015, made the CIF Finals 7 times. In 2011, he beat Centennial for the Inland Division Championship. Not a lot of teams or schools can say they've beaten Centennial for a championship. Coley Candaele, one of those guys, and now he's excited to be back in the saddle as the head coach of the Broncos. And if you're watching the show live on Wednesday night, he's actually having his first meeting with the team tonight, and in preparation to really hit the ground running in the new calendar year in January of 2023. So here is Coley Candaele. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the new but old head football coach for the Vista Murrieta Broncos. Coley Candaele join us here on the show. And Coach, great to see you back in the saddle of the Broncos football program. I know obviously you've been with Vista Murrieta. You're a big track guy too, but what went into the timing of coming back and taking over the football program once again?
Well, it was interesting. I always said I was going to take some time off while my daughters went through high school. Both my daughters have now gone through high school. I got to coach them. They're both in college, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? What's my new adventure? So I actually started looking other places around the state. Do I really want to do this? And I took a year off from coaching football this year, and all of a sudden I had zero plans at the beginning of the year to coach ever again at Vista Murrieta. And then when Eric said he's going to step down, I'm like, maybe this is what I've been looking for. This is my opportunity. And it's really been a 4-week, 5-week kind of journey of, hey, I want to do this again.
You know, Coach, when I look back at your first stint as the head coach, there was a lot of great memories, a CIF Southern Section Championship, 7 times to the finals. And I just remember those classic battles with Centennial for the Inland Division Championship. But what did you miss about being the head coach at Vista Murrieta? What are some of the things that you remember during your first stint with them?
Oh, the biggest thing is relationship with kids. The relationships that you grow with kids, that when you play at that level, it's just a different level of relationship, a different level of respect for each other, a different level of getting to know each other, knowing when you're going to have to be any good in this division, you're going to have to beat Centennial. And that being like your marker for how good you were is, can you stay in a ball game with Centennial? So, we had some times where we stayed in it, and sometimes they whooped up on us, but you always want to play the best, and you want to learn from the best. And the one thing I remember coaching that first time is the first time we played Centennial, and the realization that it doesn't matter where you line up. It doesn't matter what you do. They're going to do it faster than you. And it was a realization, my ultimate coaching experience was, okay, I had to change everything I do in order just to stay in a game with Centennial, because you throw everything out against them. All your structured defenses, all your everything, just to play in that game. So that's my biggest memory, is getting to that point where at the beginning of my career, I'm like, no way are we going to ever be able to play these guys and even stay in a ball game against these guys, to the point where we could compete with them year in and year out. Not win very many games, but we can make it hard on them.
I think what 1 for 4, right, against Santiago?
1 for 4.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of coaches out there would love that one.
Yes.
Just
Absolutely.
that one. It's a hard one to get.
Well, Coach, now you come back, and that Centennial game is a league game, but the Big West Conference as a whole, what do you feel like the Broncos have to do? What do you think you have to do as a head coach to have Vista Murrieta in that conversation for a league championship and competing for a CIF title once again?
Oh, we have a long ways to go. Truly, it's, not that things were bad. It's just another level of football that you have to prepare for from day one. You can't go into our league and not be prepared. And it's a thing that we're going to have to get better. We're going to have to get better from day one in January to day finish in November, December. We're just going to have to get better if we're going to be able to compete at all with any of those teams, because all of them are good.
Are you excited for the challenge? Does it kind of get you excited about going into the season, get the juices flowing a little bit?
Right now it's really hard because you haven't started.
Yeah.
I see the kids in the morning and I work with them, but it's not yours. It's not your program that you're leading. You're still a kind of just there. You're an assistant. Back in January when the kids come back, I get to really put our standards down, our expectation change, kind of the culture that I like to work in and how we do things. It's just a certain cultural piece that will be changing, that I just know if kids buy into that culture and they live that culture, great things happen at the end.
Well, Coach, if folks are watching the Inland Sports Show live, we know you have a big meeting tonight to meet with the players, and I assume their parents as well. So we're going to let you go, but I really do appreciate the time, and hopefully we can reconnect a little bit down the road as we get closer to the actual start of the season.
Absolutely, Pep.
All right, that's Coley Candaele, the new and old Vista Murrieta football coach, joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. Man, what a good dude. Coley Candaele, one of the best guys out there, and excited to see him back at the helm of the Vista Murrieta football program. Big shout out to Coach Peterson as well. Eric Peterson was awesome as well, and he was so good to Inland Sports. He made a lot of time for us as well. And Peterson was with Coley Candaele, and then Peterson took over. Now Coley's back. So very exciting times at Vista Murrieta High School. All right, that's going to take us into our next commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, very excited about this interview. We're going to hear from Corona boys basketball coach Chris Maffucci and one of his senior players. And this is a very special story. You might have saw the video. Let me see if I can cue it up. The video that was circulating on Twitter. Ian Plinski, a senior now. He hasn't played basketball since his freshman season because he's been battling leukemia, but he came back and Ian scored a bucket against I forget who it was the other night. We'll have to ask Coach. But he scored his first basket since his freshman year. So we got that interview coming up next, and we're going to have that highlight as well. So stay tuned here to the Inland Sports Show. We will be right back.
What up, y'all? It's Boost Man here. We're back at the Boost Performance Center with my guy, Pep Fernandez, and we got an oldie but goodie for you guys today. We're going back to the A-Run. We're going to show you guys what that's all about. If you guys remember, we did this a couple years ago. I want to touch up on that a little bit, show you guys some progression, show you guys the way we're coaching it today because it's forever evolving. We're always trying to find ways to get better. Come see what it's all about. All right, I'm with my man Noah over here. He's going to demonstrate the A-Run for us. So what he's going to do, he's going to start right here at the line. We're going to jog 3 yards. He's going to hit an A-Run, keep it really short for about 10 yards. Now, the great thing about this drill is that we can take it 20, 40, 60 yards. We can really push the threshold because we're really focusing on turnover. Now, last time I did this drill, one of the things I didn't like about the video that I'm going to correct right now is his posture. So we want to make sure that Noah is projecting his hips forward. That way we have proper force production through those legs and through the feet. So Noah's going to jog 3. He's going to give me a lot of turnover, working on residual recovery and transitions phase of sprinting. And he's going to give me an A-Run 10 yards. Here we go. Now, really quick, one more thing. Once he gets to the cone, we want that linear speed to be about 50%, but we want his turnover to be 100. Here we go, Noah, ready? And hit it. And A-Run, stay tall, stay tall, stay tall, stay tall, stay tall, stay tall, stay tall. Very nice, very nice. Good job, good job. All right, so one of the progressions that we'll do off the A-Run drills, we'll add a little bit of resistance to it. So you can do this with a sled, you can do it with a band, but for the most part, this is gonna be a heavy resisted band here. We're still emphasizing the same mechanics. Noah's gonna project his hips forward. Jay Bear's going to provide some resistance here. He's going to keep his head down, and we're focused on turnover here. So he's going to jog to the cone. He's going to A-Run about 10 yards with that resistance. Here we go. And go. And stay tall, stay tall. Get over, get over, get over. Let me turn over, turn over, turn over. Arms, 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 arms. Very nice, very nice. So there you guys have it, the A-run drill. We're bringing it back for you guys. We cleaned it up a little bit. I love this drill. You can do it with some resistance. You can do it with some assistance. You can do it with just body weight. What I love the most about it is that you can travel large distances and it's not as aggressive as all-out sprinting. So if you're not doing it, you better get to it. Boost man.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks to Coley Candaele, Vista Murrieta football coach, and the Temecula Valley girls soccer team for joining us tonight. And I kind of teased this interview near the beginning of the show because we're really excited about it. Corona boys basketball joined us live here on the show. We got head coach Chris Maffucci, of course, and then Ian Plinski will be joining us as well. And Coach, first off, I love to just follow along on social media and see what people are talking about, what people are sharing. And I saw this video, and it was awesome. It was Ian scoring his first basket since his freshman season. Ian now a senior because he had been battling leukemia, and I think you posted saying it's more about wins and it's much more than just wins and losses. These are the kind of moments that, as a coach, as a program, as a school, that you really get excited about. Tell us about just that moment that Ian scored that basket and what it meant for the team and the program to see Ian come all the way back to just get on the court again and play.
Yeah, it was special. We had our student section was on me, I think, since the first quarter to put Ian in, and we got a big lead, and Ian went in the fourth quarter, and the kids have been chanting for him all night to get in, and then he gets in, and he scores the basket, and just the reaction from our student section and our bench. I mean, our bench is just going crazy, and everybody knows what Ian's been through. So this is just a huge thing. Just for him to be back on the court's huge, but then for him to go score, it was special, and for him to do his first basket at a home game in front of our crowd was even better.
Well, Ian, let me ask you then, what was that moment like knowing, that you were able to get back to the court, score a basket, and, contribute to the team and just be part of the team?
No, the moment was really incredible. I just feel truly blessed to be cured and playing again. But all the love from especially the student section at Corona, but all the love just from my teammates and everyone and the coaches, it felt really good to do it.
So, Ian, if people are watching at home, they could probably see a little bit of that basketball hoop you have on the wall behind you. I take it you love basketball.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a passion. It's definitely more than a passion.
So, Ian, walk me back, the last 3 or 4 years for you. How were you first diagnosed, and, how long were you away from the game of basketball, and what did it mean to you to have basketball in your life again?
So I was diagnosed going into my sophomore year. I feel like I was an amazing athlete. I was really in shape. I was outrunning most of my teammates because football just conditioned us. But playing basketball was truly my passion. So when I switched over to basketball, the endurance from football really helped. But I noticed a lot of changes. I stopped being able to run. I stopped being able to play the full game. I needed to take a lot more breaks and stuff like that. So we knew something was wrong. And at first we just thought it was COVID because it was COVID. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when I finally went to the doctors and got tested, they were like, wow, these numbers are insane. Like, we got to hospitalize you immediately because you're close to dying. And so they hospitalized me, and they told me that it was actually CML, which was a very rare form of cancer in children. It's like an old lady cancer. So they diagnosed me, and they said that it was actually pretty treatable. So my sophomore year, I was actually able to play basketball. But it was on and off because of all the appointments, and life was just chaotic at the time. So it was hard to manage both aspects of life. But then for junior year in 2021, my cancer mutated. So they said if it mutated again, there wasn't going to be any medication that was going to save me this time. So I needed a transplant. So luckily we found a donor and we got the transplant. The transplant went great. And then I was coming back.
Ian, real quick, just so everyone has the full story, a transplant for what exactly?
For leukemia, a bone marrow transplant.
Bone marrow, got it.
And then I think a blood infusion as well.
All right, go ahead. Pick up the story from there.
Yeah. So after that bone marrow transplant, it hit me pretty hard. I was bedridden for 8 weeks, and so coming out of that, I lost a lot of my strength. And it was like I noticed kind of fighting to walk up the stairs and stuff like that. And then a couple weeks later, I caught COVID, and then I caught a fungal pneumonia and a bacterial pneumonia. And that hospitalized me for another 8 weeks. And that one brought me to like the edge of death right there, because I spent like 3 or 4 weeks in the ICU, and it was just a very chaotic experience. And since it was COVID, my parents weren't allowed to be with me because of the COVID protocol. So I spent a lot of that time alone, which I guess it had its ups and downs, I guess.
Well, what do you do to spend, to just make the time go by? You can't see your folks, you just watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And
fantasy was a good one. Fantasy kept me pretty active. So fantasy, 2K, of course, on the Xbox.
Just normal kid stuff, right? Just doing kid stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just trying to pass the time, not thinking about it.
Wait, so how hard was it for your parents? I mean, like, obviously this was like the worst, thing with COVID going on, and they can't be in the hospital with you. And like, I can't imagine. I've got little kids. I couldn't imagine not being with them during
it definitely took a huge impact on my parents, to the point where my mom even got rules changed at the hospital. So she went to battle for me. So I'm so appreciative of that. Yeah, really, the best.
Well, Coach, let me ask you. Let me go back to you on this one, Coach. So you finally get Ian back, and again, basketball can teach you a lot of lessons in life. It's bigger than just wins and losses. What did it mean to the team and the program to see Ian fight through, and just the strength he showed, the perseverance he showed? I mean, there's probably a lot of lessons you could learn through Ian's journey. Is that right, Coach?
Well, to be honest, it started back in August or September, or probably July, I contacted, I'd be in touch with Ian, obviously, throughout the whole situation with them. And I text him, and, I'm like, Ian, do you want to play this year? And he's like, Coach, you don't want me. I'm like, Ian, I don't expect you to come back and be an All-Americans. And Ian, if you want to be on the team, there's a spot for you. You're going to play. I don't care if you can't make it to practice. I'm going to give you this opportunity. You're going to be a normal kid again. And so, it's not like, Ian will tell you, he's not like he can come to practice and practice for 2 hours every day right now. We practice in the mornings, and most days he doesn't even make it. And the other days he makes it, he'll start at practice, and he spends most of his time over a trash can still, because he's still, getting through things, and he can explain that more. But he told me a few weeks ago, he goes, Coach, it's like I'm pregnant. I'm like, I have morning sickness every day since they switched medications on me. So every day is not like a normal kid going to school for him. So the kids on our team know that, they know what it's like for him every day. He's still not like one of them as far as everyday life. So the fact that, he got back in the game, and like I said, he scored again the other night our game last night, same kind of reaction. But honestly, I've watched that video. I've sent it out to our staff, and the reaction, and obviously got tons of reactions on Twitter and other social media. But I mean, the first time it happened, I got a little emotional just watching him, and just seeing the reaction from the kids. And I've seen that video probably 100 times now. Just watching the kids' reaction, and that's what high school basketball is all about. It's not all about always winning a CIF title. There's so many other life lessons and just journeys and stories to tell, and something that his teammates will remember this for the rest of their lives.
So Ian, let me go back to you. So you return to the team and you score that first basket. Do you feel like you're kind of settling into some normalcy now? Like, hey, I'm just another guy on the basketball team trying to win some games. Do you feel like, life's kind of getting back to normal again for you?
Definitely. It's definitely starting to get back to normal, because even this time last year, I was again in the hospital and dealing with the COVID and everything. So just to even be able to be on the court is huge for me. So I'm definitely not back to normal, but I'm starting to feel more like normal.
Now, you're at school, you're on the basketball team, you're not, stuck in a hospital by yourself. I'm sure, go back 365 days, like you mentioned, it's just a completely, changed aspect on life right now for you.
Yeah, big time. It definitely changed my outlook on life as well. I look at the world completely different.
Do you appreciate things more? Like, I don't know what,
yeah,
maybe that's
definitely
a loaded question, but do you feel like, man, I love just being around the guys. I love being on the basketball team.
I definitely appreciate stuff a lot more. Like a lot more. Like Coach will tell you, I don't get that many minutes on the court, but when I do get on the court, I'm so happy I'm on the court. And I'm just so appreciative that I get to play.
Are you excited just to be back at school? Are you excited for homework and finals and all that stuff too?
No, a little bit. You missed that a little bit too.
Well, Ian, I got to ask you, because I got two big dogs at home. I got to ask you, what kind of dog, and what's the dog's name back there?
That's Koa, and she's kind of we think she's a Rhodesian Ridgeback, but she's kind of mixed.
That's a beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, let's wrap it up like this. You guys are off to a good start this season. What kind of goals do you have for the Panthers this year?
Our goal, number one goal is always to get to the playoffs. Last year we got to the second round of the playoffs, and we had a ton of seniors last year, so we only had one kid returning this year. So all these kids are very, very inexperienced at the varsity level, and they're starting to grow, though. We've been playing better as of late. So we're just kind of trying to ride the momentum. We've had a couple nice home games, and we're going to finish up the next couple of weeks with a bunch of non-league, and then head off on our annual trip. We're going up Santa Maria this year, and hopefully do well up there and get ready for the gauntlet of the Big Eight of what it is. But kids are working hard, and that's all I can ask for them.
And finally, I'll go back to Ian. Ian, just the fact that, when I asked Coach about goals for this season, I had assumed, you've reached one of your goals, just getting back on the court and being with the team again. How much fun are you enjoying this season so far?
No, it's a lot of fun. Like, even though I'm not playing, just the camaraderie and the brotherhood of the teammates, I miss that so much.
Well, Ian, listen, I really appreciate the interview, and Coach Maffucci as well. Listen, I really appreciate it. I was really excited to see that video on Twitter being shared quite a bit, and it's our big boost play of the week. I'll make sure I share it out there on Instagram and Twitter as well. And congrats on the great start too, Coach. I'm glad you guys are winning some games and looking strong so far. And right, the Big 8 League is brutal, but you guys are off to a great start. So thank you, Ian. Thank you, Coach. Really appreciate the time for this interview.
Thanks for having us, Pep. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You got it. That is Ian and Coach Maffucci here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, guys. And again, congrats on the early season success here. And hopefully they can keep things going. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show, and we'll wrap things up when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boost Man. We're back at the Boost Performance Center with my man Pep Fernandez. We got a really good training tip for you guys today. We're working on the short shuttle. There's not a lot of sports out there where you don't have to be able to change direction quickly and efficiently. I'm gonna show you guys how we do that today. I've had the opportunity to coach a lot of top performers at the regional football combine, and this is one of the great drills that is all about technique. So I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do that today. Okay, so we're gonna walk through this first. I got my man JM. He's gonna this is all about. Okay, so we're gonna start off straddling the line. So a couple things you guys gotta know. All right, with the short shuttle, whatever direction you're going, that hand has to be down. Okay, so he's gonna have his feet directly under his hips. A lot of times you'll see athletes lean in the direction that they wanna go, but you really wanna stay away from doing that because you're gonna lose leverage and you wanna be able to push off of both feet. So Yim's gonna have his left hand down. We're gonna go to the left first. As you can see, he's nice and even. Now, before we take off, we're gonna push off with both legs. He's gonna give me a powerful crossover step. This is crucial, okay? Because that first 5 yards is gonna be a lateral run, okay? Once we decelerate and we change direction, working that load and plant that I talked about in my previous training tip, all right? So it's gonna be a powerful lateral run. After about 3 yards, you're gonna start to decelerate. So let's walk through it first. Go. He's gonna lateral run. 3 yards, low plant, he's gonna touch the line. Then he's gonna sprint linearly, 2 yards out from the line. He's gonna low plant again, left foot load, right foot plant, and then he's gonna finish right where he started through the line. Okay, so that's a lot to soak up there. Let's hit it again. Yim's gonna do it full speed. He's one of my best guys at this drill, so I know he's gonna do it well for me. All right, when I say set, Yim, you're gonna pop down fast. Now, this is really important because we wanna load the hips as quickly as possible, like a spring. So when I say set, he's gonna pop down fast and get his hand down. Here we go, ready? Set, go. Bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back, bring it back. All right, so that's the short shuttle right there. We worked this a lot at the Boost Performance Center. It's a very technique intensive drill. If you don't know how to hit that lateral run, if you don't know how to change directions and decelerate, It can be very tough for you, and that's what we do right here at the Boost Performance Center. If you don't know, now you know. Boost Man.
And the Brock Purdy era has started, Patrick. 3 touchdowns total. He threw a couple. He ran one in. And it looks like they're in good hands, man. I don't know if this feels like a Tom Brady taking over for Drew Bledsoe kind of situation in New England, 20-plus years ago. In that game, there was a roughing the passer penalty that everyone was talking about, kind of trending on Twitter a little bit, and involved our guy Jalen Phillips from Redlands East Valley High School from Rev. Jalen Phillips, number 15 for the Dolphins, sacking Herbert, and he really tried to keep the weight of his body off the quarterback, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? They're trying to protect the quarterback with all these rules now, and the court of public opinion on social media went nuts because he really tried not to hurt Herbert, and he still got a flag on the play. And it's like, well, if you can't do that, what can you do? You can't even tackle anybody. You can't tackle the quarterback. All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. Home edition. A big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez. Feeling a little bit under the weather, so we were not in the studio tonight. Get better, Johnny, and miss you, brother. And as you just saw from Corona High School boys basketball, Ian Plinski, head coach Chris Maffucci, and that memorable basket by Ian, his first basket since his freshman season at Corona High School. Ian now a senior, and it is our Boost Training Big Boost Play of the Week. Check it out. Inland Sports. Well, here was the moment for Ian Plinski, the drive, the dish, and Ian finishes near the hoop, and that is our Big Boost Play of the Week. Again, Ian found out his sophomore season that he had leukemia and just loved the game of basketball. Chris Maffucci was able to find him a spot on the roster, and now he is contributing as well. Got a basket on Tuesday night against Granite Hills, and that's our Big Boost Play of the Week, man. Great to see Ian out there doing well and getting some buckets out there for the Panthers. That's our Big Boost Play of the Week. Good job, Ian and the Panthers. All right, and we're going to wrap things up here as we put a bow on the football season. If you didn't hear over the weekend, and I'm sure you did, San Jacinto lost a heartbreaker on the road at Grant High School in Sacramento for the CIF Division III AA State Championship, 36-34. They scored 5 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes of the game. I thought that game was over 3 or 4 different times. They just kept going back and forth, and Grant coming out with the win, but still a historic season for the Jack, man. Super excited for Eric Galliano and the guys, and Dylan Gresham, the wide receiver, breaking the inland record for touchdowns. He led the entire nation for single season receiving yards and touchdowns. It's an unbelievable year. And the quarterback, Darian Dortch, man, he was unbelievable running the football, throwing the football. He engineered a lot of scoring drives this season for the Tigers. And we go from San Jacinto to the other Tigers, RCC. Man, I don't know, the wheels just fell off. RCC had a fantastic season, dominating everybody en route to the state championship game at College of San Mateo. And in the rain up there in Northern California, RCC just unraveled on them, and they lost 55-0 in the state championship game, which is unbelievable because the Tigers had been dominant all season long, just hammering other teams. But still, nonetheless, great season for RCC and the Jack, both getting to state championship games. So both Tigers making a great run. All right. Is that everything? Oh, one more thing. I wanted to punch this up here. So when I do the at-home edition, my wife and kids are usually not home on Wednesday nights. They have church service. So I'm here at home, and we got 2 big dogs, Denali and Tucker. And I've shown their pictures before. Here's Denali. This is her in the backyard. So that's Denali, a white Siberian Husky. And here is Tucker. He's a big German Shepherd mix, and that's his little thunder jacket when he gets scared. Well, tonight, of course, with my family gone, and I'm trying to do a live show at home, my dogs are going nuts, and this is Denali staring at me. So where I sit to do the show, it's kind of hard to picture, but I'm sitting behind this computer with this big Yeti microphone and it's kind of like a wind guard so I don't pop my peas. And I'm sitting here doing the show with a big light on me, but I can see across the living room and into my backyard, and there's Denali jumping around, crying, barking, and we've got a big backyard, and her paws are all muddy. You can see the muddy streaks on the back of the glass sliding door. Trust me, this past Saturday, I went hard on that sliding door. I cleaned it really good, so please don't judge me. It's usually clean, and that thing is dirty because Denali is jumping up and down because she can see me and hear me doing the show. So right now, she's just staring at me, waiting to come in. Probably want some of those Chipotle chips on the table. But anyway, so if you heard dogs barking or crying or howling or any of that stuff, that's why, and because it's the old at-home edition of the Inland Sports Show. But again, big shout out to our director Johnny Nunez at Teen Vision TV 16. Not feeling well today, so we did the show from home. Hoping to be back in the studio again soon. But first and foremost, Johnny boy, just hope you feel better, brother, especially for the holiday season coming up. Big thanks to our guests, Coach Maffucci and Ian from Corona Boys Basketball. We had Coley Candaele from Vista Murrieta Football, and of course, Temecula Valley Girls Soccer, the defending CIF Southern Section champions in Division 1. Did I play all the videos? I think I really did. That's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. Guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Not sure if we're going to do a show next week or not. I think we might do some abbreviated show as we lead into Christmas. Try to slow down just a little bit as we go into the Christmas break. So we'll probably do something next week, but it might not be like a full-on 1 hour show. So we'll see, but we'll do something. But I appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching this video, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and the best thing too is just tell everybody you know. Maybe they don't know about Inland Sports, or that we're on YouTube, or we post highlights and interviews and all this stuff on our Inland Sports YouTube channel. Please share it, and we really appreciate it. The more people that subscribe, the more people that watch our videos, more people that like our videos, really help in terms of that YouTube algorithm, right, to make sure more eyeballs are getting on it. So we would appreciate that very much. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next week on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night, everybody.